learned to an election. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your Watchlist coming in on August 11, 2020, and the stock market is going to rotate, and it actually already happened today. So we have a lot of things to talk about. One thing with the stimulus, we saw the reaction. Market didn't really move too much today, but it did in the name of this rotation. So we have plays to look at. We made plays today. I'm going to go over all that. Got the keys for you, got the plays, what we need to watch out for tomorrow, but it's going to be both very political, but now if we don't see the politics come to fruition, it's going to kind of, I don't want to say technical, but it's going to move in a fundamentally technical way, or a technically fundamental way, if that makes sense. So we will explain all that. I hope you guys are ready, but let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free $99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list, come to life, and yes, you can make money from long-term investing, and you don't have to day trade all the damn time. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watch below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything, post them below and source that info. Shout out to Chad and all the people who posted on the random plays. So right off the bat, the first thing is something very, very surprising to me. We didn't really see a real response to the executive order as far as the stimulus. So I was looking for that to be a very bullish catalyst. It wasn't. We saw a little mini pop and drop, but really a lot of what you saw today categorizes this rotation. So the rotation took over. We brought this up, but pretty much to understand this rotation is that you saw the tech stocks in the NASDAQ. They all ran up into earnings, but now it's pretty much time to take profits and rotate into the other companies or the underperformers. And pretty much that's what you have happening. Eventually, all of the companies, so even I'll show you on the play, it's going to be the stocks that underperformed last quarter. So I don't know if you guys can see that. And then we made a Yelp play too. We'll talk about it. But the idea is now, if there's no news right now, investors are going to take opportunity in the underperformers versus what they just wrote up with tech being at highs. So it makes sense also in line with what we got with the stimulus. Even take a look at the industries I said that would get affected. A lot of those are the ones that rotated. So we talked about this today and you saw it. You know, the market did go up a little bit pre-market. It ended up opening up, then bounced around, sold off pretty hard, came back up, and then we ended slightly higher. But you'll notice NASDAQ was red today. The Dow Jones was up 1.3%. The Russell was up 1%. S&P up a quarter. And again, NASDAQ down almost 0.5%. So this is showing that rotation in effect. Why are certain indexes doing better? It's because they contain certain stocks, certain ones of those underperformers and then overperformers. So you even saw it today, although you see the market down, you know, Apple and certain tech stocks went down, but then Boeing, big Dow component, they were up 5%. Caterpillar, another huge Dow component, up another 5%. JP Morgan, they were only up 1.2%. Then companies like UAL, again, take a look here on the yearly chart, and considering what happened with COVID, they've been an underperformer, but they were up 9% today. So all of these are rotations, and this is pretty much what's happening. One, I still think we should be watching the executive order and, again, how people respond to the stimulus. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about it on stream today. It is just a very political issue, so it's going to be interesting. And surprisingly, we didn't see a big response to it today, and we didn't really see a rebuttal just yet. It's something they're taking their time with. So that being said, that's why it makes sense to me. We might pretty much see this week be one of those weeks for a rotation. So keep that in mind coming into tomorrow, what to really look for. If the Dow and then the small caps go up and they're a lot stronger, so everything could go up tomorrow. Let's say the NASDAQ kind of bounces or goes up a little bit, but then you see Dow and small caps really, really do much better. That could confirm that. Or if they stay green and then the NASDAQ is red like yesterday, that's another thing. But then also this week, depending on the politics, the data, again, we still have retail sales and consumer confidence. Another possibility is that the market could just kind of use this rotating back and forth and not do anything too crazy, where pretty much everything aligns, and then that would allow everything to move together. And believe it or not, that would be the best case scenario to read the market, because right now there is a lot of things that are diverging and not really converging, but convergence would be good. It would make a clearer picture more or less. But those are going to be the main things. Again, I'm looking at the political stuff. We'll watch any economic data, but how these rotations play, if it is strong, and then you really do see this rotation play out and a lot of money starts moving to some of these industries, there could be a lot of good deals and a good opportunity to flip or swing, and then also to take profits on some of the other plays that we're holding that were already profitable through the continuations of earnings. But don't forget also, continuations in individual news will still be a big driver. So really look out for individual movements as well as the broader rotation itself. But that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I have a lot of plays. One, I want to look for rotations and pretty much the stocks that underperformed last quarter. And like I said, it's going to be individual based. There is a list. One of the ones that we played, we'll go over it. I made a small play. One of those companies is McDonald's. We talked about this on the watch list. However, there's a lot of companies. Another one was Caterpillar. They killed it today. Another one I would even say, we're holding it. It went up, and this kind of catches my eye. Gap. This thing's up 12% since we bought it. Nothing too crazy, but you can see here, this is an underperformer. Look at the yearly chart. Again, if you brought up the SPY, this is how the SPY looks on the 1 year. Let me give you a better look at the NASDAQ. This is the NASDAQ. It's definitely outperforming from the beginning of the year. So anything substantially lower on the year is underperforming. So you could see UAL makes sense given the context with airline stocks and all that. But like I said, Gap is one of those because it was down below, but it's kind of coming back, and depending on these retail numbers, that could push and pull stuff. But stocks like this, so there's a very, very wide range. I think even at Planet Fitness, remember we played the earnings and everything there. Some of these stocks are underperforming. Some are doing it more than others, but keep an eye out for these. Call these out in the morning, post them in the watch list. But those are going to be the big ones I'm looking at. As far as everything else, I have to show you guys these two plays. I like Yelp. We played it. I'll go over that. They had like some buyout or takeover rumor or some private equity taking a stake. So contracts, I got them at a decent price. They weren't too high of a premium. I think I got them cheaper than the day before. With that news, they were up 5%. Again, even though it was the news, they were rotating in that sense. They were an underperformer. We'll go over that specific play and then UAL. But then the last play that I don't have on here, but I'm really going to be looking at, because I'm already in all of these plays. The ones that I don't have, I'm going to be looking tomorrow. It's going to be banks. So as far as just overall underreporter, I want to look at Bank of America. I think you could see they're underperforming. Again, there was just the Fed meeting and all that, so that could kind of muddy the waters. And there is some banks just not really doing too good. Here's Wells Fargo. They're really, really underperforming. JP Morgan looks a little bit weaker than Bank of America, which is surprising. Goldman Sachs seems to be doing the best. And then Citigroup is kind of decent, but I think Bank of America looks the strongest. However, if there really is going to be a massive rotation, this is one of those industries that could really get a pop. However, don't forget the stress testing end of September, and that did affect their dividends, which affects the reasons why people would want to rotate into them. So watch those. As far as those other plays, Yelp, I think I did 30 contracts. Yeah, I grabbed 30 of these January. So I got these at 15 cents, $50 calls. Again, rumors of a buyout, whatever. The part that wasn't good about this play, it's really far out of the money. For Yelp, it's pretty much implying, over 100% move. And then with buyouts and stuff, you could get clapped. If they get bought out, anything below there, or again, we don't know if it's going to be a buyout. Could be someone just taking a stake. You're just overall going to be screwed. But we got these $50 calls, and I paid 15 cents, and I'll show you here. Here's the contract, and this is a January contract, so I'll show you some of the other ones, but had a lot of time. You guys know Josh Scholl's model and the Black Scholl's model. Longer term contracts could give you better deals, especially when there's a lot of premium. That's a gem. Some of you guys remember this. If you're newer and haven't seen this, sometimes there's a lot of premium. Go look throughout the chain. The further time gets affected, the less. That's why weeklies will make you the most money, but they're going to move the fastest. So apply that to kind of even trying to snipe some premium here. So that's why I went for January, because in the morning, Hope was up like 6%. So again, they had a big drop. I believe this was their earnings. So they were down from a lot. They had this big run up in the morning. And what I liked about it was this play didn't have any premium. So compared to the other days when it was kind of up and then had the drop, this contract was going for 20, 25 cents. But then this morning, they were trading between 25 and 10 cents. Somebody got them even at 30. You could see how it kind of held up, but I was able to grab those at 15 cents. I said, I'll take it. I got 30 of them. It's like $500. They're up like 100% now. My idea was either quick flip or swing. I like the news. I like the time. So it really stayed break even most of the day and then kind of popped up throughout the end of the day. So I'll look at that tomorrow, but pretty much still holding that one throughout. And then there was that play as far as the other one. I mean, I sold out of the FedEx. You guys remember we got this FedEx play a decent amount of time ago. I don't really remember when, but we got this FedEx. I spent 59 cents. We had more. We already made them free, but I sold 2 of these at 280, got like a little bit more than $500 back, but I'm holding the last one and they're at like 560 now. So we're still holding those. FedEx was a killer today if you guys saw it. But then the last play I grabbed on the small Robinhood. So like I said, this was on the small account. Again, we haven't really made a play. I got the deposit. We have 100 something cash, but remember, small accounts go slow, and that's why I like this play. I only got one. I spent literally $12, got a McDonald's weekly, so it's riskier. I was hoping that if there is a massive rotation event, pretty much, McDonald's goes crazy. It was trailing behind some of the other companies that rotated today. We're able to profit off the $12. If I was wrong, I'll only lose $12. Still got to play this week without risking too much. So small account play, risky weekly. The amount that I put in even tells you kind of how I feel towards it. So keep that in mind. But as far as everything else, those are the final plays. So as far as everything else, again, I want to be watching these rotations. Again, watch Boeing, Caterpillar. Those were big of the Dow components today that moved. So if those continue, because you're seeing the difference, some stocks will move 9%, some will move 5%. Both of those are important ranges. So keep that in mind. You guys know like 3 to 7 and like even being crazy, not necessarily just yields, but we've talked about that. But watch Boeing, watch Caterpillar, again, JP Morgan, then Facebook and Disney. I'm going to watch these because we have positions on them, but remember, they've kind of been doing a little bit good here. So Disney's kind of one of those underperformers. It didn't really move too much today, but then Facebook, they've been at the top. They dropped 2.5%, comparatively to the Dow. That's a big difference. So watch out for those, especially if you have positions in those. Make sure you monitor those. I'm going to keep an eye on those. UAL, oh, this is another one. I decently like this play. Remember, we made this play last week, and I was going to quick flip it, but then I got stuck. So I have a decent-sized position, but they came back to life. I have the September 60 calls, but yeah, they were worth a lot more in the morning. But they pretty much they had a big move, and then they've depreciated, but they're kind of holding up. So they're not depreciating, but they're not getting too expensive. So watch, because if they do depreciate and then UAL moves around, these could be a good frog. Otherwise, it does look like some of the premiums holding and bubbling on UAL. So just watch those underperformers. Watch out for the rotation. Keep an eye on them. I'm going to watch I&O. We have those shares. Their earnings set them all over the place. Ultimately lower right now after hours, but it will be an interesting one. Then there's Uber. I said I want to look for them for the long term. They had the ruling that the California injunction was against them. So now they're already below our entry price. So I'm excited on the long term. I'm hoping it gets cheaper, but I'm being patient here. But watch them, watch Walmart. They definitely could be one of those rotating ones because they're doing better, but also, kind of view them in like the Home Depot sense. They're going to be one of the more stronger ones, but I like them. We're still in that play with a little bit more time. I don't think we have too many of them. Actually, I want to double check. I think we have some, but watch them. And then finally, AMC. I like it. It was an underperformer, but the news really hasn't been hitting. I think it may have been a little bit more hype, so I have the shares. The CNKs might get clapped, but I still like the idea. I think it's overall good. It may just take some time, but if they ultimately prove to be a loser of the rotation, that will not be good. And then finally, like we said, watch all the bank stocks for those rotations. I really like that, especially Bank of America. And then TLT coming down now. So keep watching the dollar and the political aspect, but remember, watch rotations even with the dollar in the market, but rotations will be the name of the game even beyond equity. So I hope you're ready, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you in the game. Focus, baby. I need you to stretch it. I need you to believe. And I need you to ride with the good and bad, baby. Balance the budget. Balance the books. Balance sheet, baby. Oh, my gosh. But the cult loves you. I love you. I'm going to see you in the morning. Let's go.